Well, good morning, KOTA territory. Welcome to First Sip here at the KOTA Now desk. It has been a while. We hope you have your hot cup of coffee, your hot cup of tea, your hot cup of water, cold coffee, whatever you drink in the morning. We hope you have that with you and, sit down with us, have a nice chat, listen to us yap all morning.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't been tired of us on Good Morning KOTA territory and Good Morning Black Hills. But with that being said, I am Humberto Giles Sanchez.
And I'm Mimi Herrig. We talked about a lot of stuff this week, so I think we're going to start off with the boring stuff, then we're going to do the fun stuff, right? Even though this is important for you to know about.
I had to stretch. Okay.
I know we have to lock in here.
Yes.
We've got to be so locked in. So we're starting with counterfeit products. So counterfeit products are made with substandard materials or components that can be hazardous to your health. And so some of the reasons that this is hazardous is anything that you can consume. So like toothpaste, shampoo, makeup, perfume, those chemicals, if they're made with substandard materials, could be not up to par with standards and regulations that could be potentially dangerous. Counterfeit pharmaceuticals could be missing necessary active ingredients or contain fentanyl or other opioids, which could result in overdose, which is not good. And then automobile parts, airbags, brake pads can be catastrophic in an accident. So you're just going to want to make sure that you're not buying counterfeits where you can.
And a lot of that kind of is all encapsulated on one of the wonderful websites, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement website, where they explain and go into a little bit more detail as to why those products can be dangerous if bought. And primarily one of the reasons they state is because a lot of those products are made fast and they're made with materials that are not up to par or up to code with which those products should be made with.
Another thing with that is like in the clothes market or the apparel market of things, a lot of times those can be using illegal practices like child labor, and that's why they're cheaper. So you just don't want to get involved with that.
No, exactly. And also it's very, one of the bigger points that I saw was the economic impact is insane when it comes to buying counterfeit products. Reason being is it's not insane in the way you would usually think of it being insanely good. It's actually insanely bad. I didn't personally know that a lot of these products actually hurt the local communities and the local business environments. In fact, the reason being is because a lot of the time, a lot of these local businesses lose business because of those cheaply made products, and that results in financial losses that can result in serious cases of that small business closing, which is kind of why you should avoid buying these counterfeit products and kind of going toward like the local businesses, or just your businesses in the area, and make sure that you look at the labeling, because a lot of the time they're getting better and better. I hate to say, I know one of the biggest fashion trends right now, or one of the bigger trends is that as kind of weird as it sounds, it's like the Labubu dolls or whatever they're called.
Oh, those weird keychain thingies?
Yes.
I've seen those.
But there's since it's a big craze right now, there's a lot of counterfeit products out there and whatnot. So, and they've made like ways to look at it. But another big thing that I've heard, especially with the rally coming around the Black Hills, is counterfeit motorcycle helmets.
Yes, those can be extremely scary for your safety and health. You do not want to. No. Anything safety related, consumable, anything that you will be near, you don't want to have counterfeits of. A
good message is to spend that little extra buck in order for you to be safer on the road.
Yeah, and that's kind of a point I was going to bring up next for the counterfeit thing was most of the time when you do encounter these products, you're just going to end up having to spend more money in the long run, because if you're not getting a quality item that you can use and wear or have for a long time, like some of these quality items can be, it's just not going to go well for you.
And in some cases, it even discourages innovation. Why do I have to innovate this new thing and create this new thing when I can just have it cheaply made? And that's not the way you should be looking at things. But yes, overall, according to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, avoid counterfeit products as much as possible. Be sure to double check where those products are made, and if those products have a brand, make sure to do your research on that brand. Make sure to kind of do preliminary research as well for that product. Again, if it deals with safety, spend that little extra buck, because that little extra dollar goes a long way for your safety.
Yeah, and be careful with the online shopping thing too. I read a statistics from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection that 90% of these counterfeit goods are coming to the U.S. from online shopping.
Yes.
So be really careful and make sure that you're shopping from a credible website or business. Kind of moving on here to another thing to have to do with kind of consumery stuff. We're talking about some budgeting things because the consumer price index and the production price index, sorry, I get them confused all the time, came out this week. And so it is 2.7% for the month of June, which is the highest it has been since February. Goods only make up 25% of the consumer price index, so a lot of other things go into it, like energy costs, gas, housing, stuff like that. And so this isn't necessarily unexpected. Economists expected higher gas prices would lift the CPI, which was the case, and a broader suite of goods would show the effect of businesses passing along the higher import costs because of tariffs to consumers, which also happened. So we just wanted to give you guys some tips on how you can smart shops, save a little extra at the grocery store and stuff.
Exactly, and I mean at the grocery stores what we're looking at primarily as well. You know, meal plan, make a list when you go to the grocery store. Make sure that you go to the grocery store for only those items. I know it can be tempting to get that little snack. I've been in your shoes. I've been there.
I'm really naughty about it.
I'll tell you right now, making that plan, making that list ahead of time definitely saves you money on your grocery receipt at the end of the day. And in-store shopping, like Mimi said, compare prices. If you have a coupon, use it. Those come a long way at the end of the day, and those take you a long way when during your grocery shopping trip. And also, if there are seasonally available items, make sure to look at those prices and get those sales, if possible, on those groceries. I know a big one around here is rhubarb. That's a big one, and usually
my favorite.
At least from what I have seen at the grocery store, they're usually pretty well priced when they're more in season rather than at the beginning.
The more in season something is, the cheaper it's going to be because it's easier for these grocery stores to supply it.
Yes.
Basically.
Exactly.
That's like how the whole supply and demand thing works.
Yes, and another thing is make sure you check the nutritional value. Frozen foods can be good and bad, but as long as you check the nutritional value on the product you're buying.
Especially if you're getting things that are just like just frozen vegetables, just frozen fruit with as little amount of processing possible involved in that.
Exactly. Another thing, going again with the online shopping. If you're doing your online shopping, getting those groceries online, do your research. Make sure you price check for the stuff as well. If one store says it's a little bit cheaper than the other, maybe go with the one store if it's a credible store that you yourself trust and have gotten stuff from before. And another thing is just some general shopping practices. Consider packaging. If it says that you'll get it cheaper because if you order it the same day as the other item, then maybe go for that, opt out for that option than the other one. And buy locally sourced products. There's a lot of wonderful things around the community, especially here in the Black Hills, that you can get for cheaper than you would at a big name store. Just look around the community and you will find it most likely.
Yeah. There's a lot of great stuff in terms of shopping and budgeting tips. There's a lot of really cool online resources too. I'm a big fan of those YouTube financial advice people. They have a lot of great tips. If you're looking for other places to save, they have great advice. But now we get to talk about the fun stuff.
Yes, some fun stuff.
The fun stuff we're starting with is Dinosaur Park. And so it was dedicated May 22nd, 1936, and it started with 5 dinosaurs, and they were constructed by Emmett Sullivan, who was a lawyer and a sculptor, and it was using metal pipe and then a concrete skin on some mesh wire is how they got it all to stay. In the 1950s, they adopted their kind of cartoonish green and white color, and then they added 2 dinosaurs at the visitor center, so now there's 7 dinosaurs there. And then they recently upgraded a bunch of the paths and stuff to make it more accessible for people who maybe have a harder time getting up those original concrete stone stairs, and also for families with strollers. It can be a lot easier to get up there now.
Made it more ADA accessible, and I love that the Rapid City is proactively working, throughout the city to make stuff more accessible for everyone.
And another fun fact about those dinosaurs too, they might not be anatomically accurate because they're very cartoonish, right? But they're pretty accurate in terms of size.
Yes.
So they are the real size of the real dinosaurs.
Yes, and I wish we could see it here. I think it's a little bit more that way, unfortunately. So it's fine. But the big Brontosaurus is almost like 80 feet
He's so tall. You can see him from everywhere in Rapid City.
Yes, 80-foot long brontosaurus, which is insane. It's huge. But the good part about that is, it was made initially by the WPA to kind of work as a way to bring in people to the Black Hills as a kind of what's that word? It's to improve quality of life. There you go. As a quality of life attraction for Rapid City itself, and kind of attract more people. And it worked, and now it's working even better because of the economic drive behind it. Yes, you might not think that the free park has a lot of economic value. Well, you'd be wrong, because it brings in a lot of tourists to the area, and those tourists bring in that money to our local mom and pop shops that use it and kind of help drive that local economy. And it's also, again, like I said, it's free and accessible for anyone, any age, and it's also educational. The plaques have a little bit of I'd say a fun fact to kind of a scientific fact that helps you learn more about the dinosaur you're looking, as cartoonish as it may look like on
I think it's a fun way to get people involved in science and history. Another thing that I think is really cool as well is like the fact that you can climb on them.
Yes.
Is a really big draw and factor, because it's one of the only dinosaurs you can climb on.
Yes, I would have gone crazy if I was a little kid going.
Oh yeah.
I would have loved that.
I'm on the dinosaur. Like,
but yeah, I was like, and those 5 aren't the only dinosaurs able to see though, right? Mm-hmm. There's 2 more that are.
They're close to the visitor center, so they're down there, and the visitor center has stuff like ice cream and
stuff
all
that you can peruse and look at, and it's also locally owned, so even better. But it's also kind of going a little bit more on the preservation efforts of the actual park itself. It is getting old. It is a Great Depression era piece of art, I'd like to call it, because it is very artistic. And, like I said, it offers educational value. It's always worth a watch. If you are watching here and you're not from the area, you should definitely plan to kind of go there and visit that, along with multiple other monuments around the Black Hills that you can kind of see. Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, an interesting thing I saw was now Rapid City kind of uses the dinosaur park as a way to bring visitors who are going to Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, these big things, as a way to bring people, a little bit more into Rapid City.
A little bit of that history as well, before you go and visit all the other wonderful things around the Black Hills and around Rapid City. And for the final topic today, we are talking about music and how it affects your mood, and also music therapy.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things that I was reading is that active music can have a direct impact on 2 of the feel-good hormones in your brain, right? So that's dopamine and serotonin. And active music, you're probably like, what are you talking about? Active music is like playing an instrument, singing. You don't have to necessarily be singing by yourself, even just singing along to something in the car or singing in the shower, just stuff that we do like mindlessly. It can be really, really good for your mood. Another thing was that positive music can help boost your mood, while sad music can help you sort of feel your feelings, let it all out, that sort of mood. And the Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare System recommended knowing what music to pair with what emotions to best impact your overall mental and emotional health. So something that I like to do is listen to my upbeat playlists, like in the morning when I'm getting ready before the shows. I'm sure you've heard me blasting Harry Styles in there. And like when you're shopping or cleaning or driving, just happier music that keeps you in a better mood when you're out and about doing stuff. And then another thing is keeping the sad playlists for like when you're ready to let it all out. And it can be a driving thing for you. If you're someone who likes to drive your emotions out, that's fine. But like letting those sad songs sort of help you feel what you need to feel, get it all out, and you can kind of move back into more of that positive territory.
And you'd be surprised how much music actually plays a big part in your mental health day to day. And I mean, a good example, if you like to drive and you're listening to music and you're feeling calm, well, that's music kind of helping you relax and feel good during your drive to wherever you're headed to. I mean, this morning, if you're heading somewhere, you're going to probably put on some music or a podcast or something with sound, and it's going to either make you feel relaxed and kind of feel something, and that's really cool. And that's because, and there's another thing, along with music kind of impacting your mood day to day, every day. I mean, there's also music therapy, which is a clinical and evidence-based use of music intervention to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed and approved music therapy program. That is what is defined by the American Music Therapy Association, AMTA, if you're curious on where I got that from. But kind of the overall goal for music therapy is for you to achieve specific outcomes, such as improving your mood, or better communication skills, or even motor skills, which is really cool. I didn't know about this until a couple weeks ago, and it's really interesting.
Music therapy is insane to me. It is such an innovative way to use something that's been like an innate part of humanity for forever. I mean, basically all prehistoric humans had some form of musical communication across cultures and whatever. So I think it's really interesting that we've found a way to make it not only beneficial like in everyday entertainment value, but also beneficial for your health.
Yes, and something you should keep in mind if you're interested in looking up more onto this is that the sessions, of course, depend on the person, and it varies person by person because we're all different. And that is kind of, like I said, that's something that you should keep in mind if you do end up looking more into this, that not everyone's going to be kind of going into this the same way. But some evidence that it's worked, and according to AMTA, the American Music Therapy Association, it helps you relax, it helps you explore your emotions, reduce anxiety and depression, ease your stress levels, regulate your mood, strengthen your communication skills, build your social skills, help you form healthy coping skills, reduce perceived levels of pain, it improves your quality of life. Those are just a few of the things that they listed on their website, and that was, I mean, hey, it's really cool. And like I said, it's not just listening to music. It can be a part, not only is it part of the therapy, it can also be a part of your life. You know, if you go out and every day you're driving to work, you commute to work, on the weekends you take that drive to Pactola Reservoir, go fishing, go boating, do something, and on the way there you're listening to music, and it's because it's probably making you feel some way, and that's because music is affecting your mood right then and there.
Yeah,
and that's how you know it works.
Yeah, and you know what, I just want to talk about some of my favorites currently, my feel-good songs and my not feel. Again, you've heard these blasting out of the dressing room. I can say that much.
I was my cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh, Harry Styles, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yep.
This morning it was Sabrina Carpenter.
It was Sabrina Carpenter when you walked by this morning. But Style by Taylor Swift, that one has such a good beat. Treat People with Kindness by Harry Styles and Feels Like by Gracie Abrams have been kind of in my rotation recently for happy songs. And then my sad songs right now are Doomsday by Lizzie McAlpine because I love her and she's perfect. And then Marjorie by Taylor Swift. And you know, I think it depends on what you like per person, like what sort of fits your thing, but finding like those specific songs that you can kind of associate with like a happy mood or a happy memory or even a sad mood or a sad memory, it can kind of help you feel what you want to feel.
Exactly, it makes you feel good.
What about you? You got any good ones right now?
I do, but unfortunately, I feel like if I talked about them a little bit, it would be all mush and gibberish. Just because a lot of my artists, I would say, it'd be Setangana and any song of his, especially, you know, whenever I'm feeling a little bit in a dancing mood, I like to listen to Ateo, which is kind of has incorporations or incorporated bachata, which is a form of Latin music. But I really like that song. Also, when I'm feeling in my mood, sometimes I like to listen to Mana, which is really cool. It's like a nice rock band, light rock band from Mexico. I like to listen to Mariposas and stuff like that. Mariposas translates to butterfly. But it's really cool. I mean, like I said, it can go anywhere. And usually, it depends on the person. Depends on what you like. I mean, everyone has a different music taste.
Yeah, clearly.
Yes.
Clearly, we have very different tastes.
I mean, it's really cool. And honestly, it's even if you're not thinking of, you know, taking music therapy, it's also just really cool at looking into how it works and also how music affects your everyday life. Like I said, it works on your way to work, it works on your way to the park, it works on your way anywhere. And even at home while you're cleaning, there's a reason why people put on music while they're cleaning, to get them motivated.
The cleaning playlist goes hard.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if I want to listen to some oh my gosh, the rock band.
AC/DC?
Yes, AC/DC while I am cleaning. Yes, if I want to listen to some AC/DC while I'm cleaning, I'm going to listen to some AC/DC while I'm cleaning. But with that being said, thank you for joining us on First Sip this morning. We hope you enjoyed. We hope to see you again next Thursday and tomorrow for Mimi's DIY Friday.
Oh yeah, it'll be a good one. We're making salsa. If you want a good recipe, make sure you tune in for that tomorrow, 8:30 a.m.
Yes, 8:30. Be there or be square. But for now, thank you for joining us. I'm Humberto Ile Sanchez.
And I'm Mimi Herrick. Have a great day.